How's your lighting so nice?
Window.
I need to change my desk today, I think.
Yeah, the natural light. Yeah.
It's nice. It's really nice.
Thank you. Sharon, I like it. Cool. I've got Lisa Lister here again. And it's video week, so I've actually been working with Lisa, and we've had a process around video going on. I thought she was the perfect person to have a chat about the more emotional side of video. And just from, I know I've said that it's taken me a year to get really comfortable with doing video, and that has been an absolute process, emotionally, mentally, soulfully, the whole thing. I mean, Lisa, just a little bit of a nutshell what you've been going through with the video stuff.
Maybe do this first. Yeah, it's not my comfy place. It's really not my comfy place. You know, I write and I love writing, so that's really like, so blogging, and K-Dot and I were talking the other day, and I was like, I've got 3 features to write, which are 1,000 words each, or I've got 1 3-minute video to write. Give me the 3,000 words, and that will be like heart medicine to make me sit in front of a camera and do this. You know, that there's like this whole like belly stuff that goes on, throat constriction. It's a full body reaction to the act of it. and yeah, like, you're really helping me to work through it. Like, just making me keep come on and talk to screen is is enough of a thing, but also having somebody to talk to feels really good. That's been a really nice process. And thinking about, if I'm going to look at the camera, then imagine it's it's one person. That's helpful. But there's like a complete, if I look at that camera now, it's like a complete, like, if I look into your eyes, I forget about it. You know, that's cool. Like, so we're having a conversation. But yeah, it's a tricky time.
So we talked about there was the this whole having to versus kind of in the moment. And I think this is the same with all kinds of content creation. I think, when we feel we've got to do it, there also creates a bit of a block. And I guess with people, if we're going to do kind of weekly videos, or we're going to do maybe create an online course, video, it is difficult. So it becomes a lot easier when it's in the moment. I mean, have you got any thoughts about, have you made online courses, haven't you?
Yeah.
How different was that a process for you?
So literally every online course, so I've been doing online courses for 3 years now, and for the first 2 of those there were no videos. It was all written material, and it was and then maybe in the second year I started to do audio. And now I know that my women, I want to have these conversations with women. They need to see me. I need to see them. It's like, I get it. And that's what when we're talking about the like have to do and the can it feel good piece, is that there are, I get emails from women saying, Lisa, like, I want to see you. Like, can we have a conversation? Can you talk to us? And people learn differently too. So if you're making an online course specifically, you're going to need all of the elements. And that's what I found now, is like, I was attracting a certain kind of woman that loved to write as much as I did. And that's lovely. But now, because the work is developing, and I'm wanting women to help women to come into their bodies. So that was a big thing, actually, that I learned, was actually when I was teaching the movement. Like, so I've been making a few on Instagram, just a teeny little 1-minute ones. They take less of this body. I've been making a few of those. And I realised that if I'm teaching movement, I'm in my body. So if I'm in my body, I'm able to talk as if I would if I was in a She Flow class, if I was teaching yoga, if I was teaching movement, if I was in a workshop. There's always movement. So I'm in my body. But what I was trying to do, because my publisher asked me to make a video like promoting my book, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it because I have to, and literally there was an excitement because I wanted to do it, like I genuinely wanted to, but there was just a complete like freezing up. And I was just sitting down, and I found like a beach. I was like, let's do it on the beach, let's do this, let's do it like, and like the thought was all up here, and I wasn't here, I wasn't in this one. So there's a complete disconnection, which is like the work I speak about anyway. But I couldn't marry it with the practice of what was happening, you know. So I couldn't make sense of it. Like, why am I stuck every time I sit down in front of the camera? It's because I'm not moving my body, like, or I haven't moved my body before I sit down. So now that's the thing I've learned, that if I'm going to sit down and do some to camera work, then I'm going to need to move this body first, definitely.
Cool. That's a good piece of advice.
And
how do you feel do you feel that in this situation?
Totally.
Do you?
Totally. Like, it's just, I mean, and you know, without getting crazy woo woo, it can be like, for me, it's definitely like there's some past life stuff. Where you know, there's been situations where my tongue's been cut out and I've not had a voice, and so I can definitely feel that moving through this lifetime. I was told as a kid that, you know, shush a lot, like I was told shh, be quiet a lot, and so I'm fully aware that I don't want to talk too much, or if I talk too much, people are going to be like, oh. So there's like so much emotional and psychological stuff you have been like some kind of freaking I don't know, like medicine woman in this course. I signed up to learn how to do freaking social media. I didn't sign up to like do some like kind of deep heart and belly work. But it really feels like, because it's the video.
It's about doing social media is about being seen and being heard, and I think this is why video can be such a block for a lot of people. You know, because once it's up and it's out there as well. I mean, I have moments where I was doing my nudges. But I'd sit and play them back. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm talking absolute shite. Like, who's going to want to listen to these? What am I even talking about? And you go through that whole process of being your biggest critic. And a lot of it's actually about how you're making people feel. It's not just the words that are coming out of our mouths, is it? There's so many layers to it, I think, with video. But I was very blocked around doing it, and I found that I was completely happy on FaceTime and on Skype. And so I started there, and then I was like, oh my God, I'm actually quite good on Skype and video. I was like, how can I recreate that same feeling when I'm doing it, which is, you know, why the kind of whole selfie stick and just getting out. But I get really, if there's anyone around me, I freeze up. And this has come up with a couple of people. There's a lady called Sue Farmer in our group, and she just did a webinar a couple of weeks ago, and just having people around. There was a lady in her office that completely like froze her out mentally. It really distracted. I know that's something that I find. Is that something that you also?
Well, so on Sunday, for example, Rich and I will make it. So I have, I'm for the book that's coming out, there's like a toolkit you can download. So I wanted to do little videos about the breathing techniques that I was sharing. Again, totally cool, because I'm sharing something I know, but the minute it comes to having, I don't know, I'm still working on the disconnect piece. So this is like work in progress. So I'll keep sharing like what comes up as we do it. But Rich was behind the camera, my husband, and it was so, I don't know, like, and he's lovely. He knows that I do the work. He knows what I'm talking about. He's a complete fan and supporter. So how and why I wasn't able to do it with him there, if I like, again, it was just like, oh, he's judging me. He's thinking, oh, I'm not saying the right words, or I'm not being natural enough, or and we've spoken about it. But authenticity and being natural are key things to me. So when I see people promoting their work with their glossy hair and all of that stuff, it triggers me. Like, it totally triggers me. And then when I see, and this isn't right, by the way, and then when I see other people who are doing it like on a shoestring, like me, I'm like, oh, but you know, there's the piece that, you know, there's proper glossy people out there doing it. So like, if I turn up like this, then it just shows that or it doesn't, but like, it's perceived that I'm not glossy enough, or I'm not professional.
would you not be even less comfortable if you got like a camera crew and the whole setup and you were on? Even the thought of it's making me want to like throw up.
But then that's the perfectionist piece that might get in the way for a lot of people, because that's mine, is that like I almost don't want to do it unless it's that level. But hell no, I'm not doing that fucking level. Sorry, potty mouth. But hell no.
Yeah.
So and that's really is that, like, so there's the perfectionist and there's the being seenness as well. So I mean, I'm an extroverted introvert as well. So like, I'm, you know, to look at me, you think I was extroverted, but I love being inwards. You know, I love being in my cocoon. Yeah. So there's a lot to play with.
There is so many, because I think we do see that level of production. I think it's how we also frame social media. For me, it's social media. Actually, the more it's done on a phone or through a webcam, for me, that makes it feel really real. And I love that stuff. You know, I watch Gary Vee, and he's just got a camera guy with him all the time, and he's out and about, and it's all very real and in the moment. But then you have got you more, you know, you've got, we talk about Hay House, you kind of got your Gabby Bernsteins and people like that who will do, or Marie Forello, who does her weekly video, and you know, but they've got big budgets, right?
Yeah, and lots of people, and
they probably, you know, you see, it's almost like there's all these different layers to it, and I think it's that vibe attracts tribe thing. Like, I think you came out with a glossy video set of promo videos. It'd be like, your audience and all of us would feel like, not because you shouldn't be that, but just because it's not, I don't know, it doesn't feel right for your brand per se, I guess. And I guess that's where we've all got to sit and figure out where we sit. It might be that actually the glossy thing is totally bang on and right for you. And I have clients that I work with where it is.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily right for all of us. So how can we practice and get better that, you know, maybe we might end up there? Who knows? Like, does that even matter?
But I think what you're teaching in this group, and what it is for me is the main thing, is to practice, because I wouldn't have made any videos if it wasn't for this group. You know, like I wouldn't have been on Insta. You know, I'm on Instagram, like circling my hips, teaching people, like, you know, things that I think actually probably you should have started at a lower level around that. Like if your first video making is gyrating your hips, like, what's that about? But that's my work, you know, that's my work. And so that felt really comfortable to share.
Yeah.
And so Instagram for me has been like a really beautiful space to practice.
Yeah.
Because I feel, rightly or wrongly, quite safe in the community that I've created there.
Yeah.
I've got a circle of beautiful women that are gathering in a Facebook group, and you know, I've shared all of this with them, and it's been really helpful to actually say, do you know what, I've got a book coming out and I'm a bit scared about making videos for it, and you know, I've been asked by my publisher to make videos and I'm actually a little bit scared about doing it. So that's been really helpful. And just asking people's advice as well has been really good. Like asking, I mean, ringing you and going, I'm crying, I don't like it, I don't want to make videos. But you know, and it really was a block. And whilst I don't, by no means am I saying like keep pushing through it, because if it feels uncomfortable, don't do it. It's totally not my thing. So it's not something I'm going to make a big deal out of at all. You know, I'm not going to be like, oh, I love videos now. It's definitely not my thing.
Yeah, and I think that's great. Again, it's where you enjoy creating videos. And if you start to find a space where you do get joy out of making videos, and maybe that will come to you through the live stuff. Who knows, when you do a live in a closed group.
And that I'm looking forward to as well. And I think already, like, being able to share in a group of women and knowing what I want to share is very different than having to share. You know, like feeling like,
isn't there?
Yeah. Like, and I still don't understand it fully enough to articulate it in any kind of official way. But yeah, it really does feel like if you have to do something, then find some really beautiful ways to make it as comfy as possible, which for me is definitely moving my body before, breathing lots, and doing some like throat stuff just to clear any nonsense out that's there beforehand. Yeah. And not go into it cold. So that's definitely been a learning process for me. If you have to do it, if you want to do it, make it playful, because that's what you're teaching me. Like in all of this, in every bit of social media and all of that, is to make it playful. like Rich was saying that on Saturday. He was like, well, on Sunday, so he's like, how can we make this playful?
Yes.
Like, I don't know. It's not playful. Don't feel playful. Doesn't feel playful. I don't like it.
It would have been better if you'd had like a selfie stick and you'd gone off by yourself and filmed, like done 2, 3, 4 versions and seen then which one came out and felt best.
And so because the perfectionist in me is saying I need Rich there to make sure the tripod's set up, that the camera's good and that we've got good light and all of that stuff, the playful me would have had way more fun setting up the video, just going out, being with myself, thinking I was just talking to maybe you or like a girl in my group or somebody who loves the work I do, as opposed to thinking, shit, this is going to be seen by people that don't know me and are going to judge me based on this one video. Because that's the truth of where I was at. You know, that was the absolute truth. Whereby if I was just sharing this, and I, you know, so that's what in the last year I've started to share in my groups. You know, last summer I did a She Flow summer school, which was all videos, and that was like super fun because it was in a group of women who had chosen to be there. It was like them coming to a class with me. So yeah, there we go.
That's lovely. I think that's it. I think that's exact, and that's how I've dealt with it. I feel like when I do my videos, I'm just talking to my clients. I'm answering questions that they've asked me, and I'm answering it for them. So that takes away that fear, judgment piece.
Yeah.
Because I think that is one of the big triggers that when we boil it down. Wonderful, thank you. That's been really useful. I'm sure groups found it really useful as well. You're like, no, it is. But I think we need to.
When can we turn this off? Turn it off.
Get that video off. We do need to talk about it because this is the stuff we don't talk about. When it's all like, oh yeah, we're all got to be great at social media, but actually. It is work. Like we talked before we were filming, we were saying it really is. It is emotional work. It is medicine in its own way somehow.
No, and it's been amazing for that, and I think if you can see it as that as well, it's really helpful. That's definitely been the big part for me.
Lovely.
And I'm working on it still. Work in progress. Work in progress.
Thank you, my love.
No worries.
Oh.